Hello and welcome back to Going Medieval. I am Gary and Reaver. I've previously done a first impressions on this that seemed to be well received, and as I've been sort of ill the last week and a half odd, I've not really been playing much other than this basically, so I thought I would do another video on this and sort of show you what I've been up to. Here is my town. I'm in the third winter, the third winter's just started, and I played quite a few maps, and this is the first one that I've sort of got this far on. I had a really cool sort of mountain map where I was building on like a really powerful fortress on like a hook in the river, and the issue was the map was too big. Because I thought, you know, this map just seems really small, because, like, the edges are right there. I mean, it's further off in this direction, but hang on, I'll just go to the top so you can see the map better. So I installed a mod which added a larger map size, but the problem was it was too big. How's temperature? Alright, I'm just going to increase the temperature of these, actually. 14, yep. Increase that up to high now that we're in winter. Yeah, the map size was too big. It was taking too long for anyone to actually traverse the map. Because if there's, like, I don't know, a thing up here, it might take them 12 hours to reach it. But on the larger map, which is like twice the size of this, it would take them a whole day. And my people were dying before they were able to actually reach anything. So, I went for a smaller map. The other thing I realised when I was playing was there was a bit of an issue with buildings. So this is a bit of a personal preference thing. Hang on, I'll stick on this. So as you can see, I have a very low settlement. Nothing is more than one story. This is actually minus one story. The library is built into the floor. And lower down we have more library, we've got my big storage area, and even lower down we have my food storage, which is actually getting quite low, worryingly low. But I had a full castle with like 4 block thick walls built along a cliff, and with only a single bridge to access it. And I quit that map the first time they brought trebuchets, because I spent ages, like I spent 4 hours building a church, and it was like 4 stories tall with ornate like walls and roofing. Trebuchets came in and blew a hole in it, and it's like, you know what, I'm done, because it was really awkward to reach. So I thought this time I'm going to go with a single level, everything is reachable from the ground except these walls, the outer perimeter up here. But they are reachable from the outside. There's still only one level above on the outside. Because it was frustrating. It was very frustrating. It's funny how much of a difference a tiny thing like roofs makes to the Rimworld formula. In Rimworld, repairing is very easy. Everything automatically repairs, which it doesn't in this. And roofs are not really a thing. It's just a single jobby of stand in a square, you can build the roof directly above it. Easy enough. In this, however, because it doesn't auto-rebuild, if a rock came in and smashed like the corner off this, it would take out like several of these, it would take out the couple of the roofs, and maybe the floor as well, and anything inside. But it doesn't automatically rebuild, so unless you know exactly how it was built, it's frustrating. Anyway, I'm not here to complain, I just thought I would mention that in passing. But what I am going to do today is I'm going to build a new kitchen. Because I've been building this sort of relatively slowly. So, again, compared to Rimworld, I promise this isn't going to be another round of complaints. Building tends to be a lot slower. I don't know if that's because it's early access or what, but it just takes ages to do anything. Which it does in Rimworld as well, but it does more so in this, probably because of the extra dimension. So let's go with 12 long. go with 7 wide. That gives me a 5 space inside. I'll see if that's enough. Of course, to counter that is the fact that you don't need to build as much. Because it's all medieval, you don't have the great improvements that going through the tech levels does in Rimworld. Because you don't have the tech levels to go through, you basically reach a certain tech level and then it's just making sure you can continually defend yourself against the stronger raids. So I had a raid a couple of days ago, and basically what I do is I've got 3 entrances down here and just the 1 entrance up here. And what I do is I put my archers on the barricade, I put my melee behind the door, and you could tell which door they've broken down in the past because it's replaced by a stronger one. Same with over here. They broke this one down. Also, you can see through, which is a bit weird. Anyway, and you just shoot them from the top, and you could shoot directly down. So, like, if you have people lined up here, you can shoot someone stood here. And someone stood there can shoot you as well, which is a bit strange, but anyway. I have a clay mine, because on the, this is a valley, I think. You don't have a lot of stone. There is some stone out here, which you can't see because of the snow. But there is a lot of clay, so everything's built out of brick. Which is very nice. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have done this in winter when you can't see anything. But you can see where my roads are because of the little lines. But yeah, everything's brick. All the floors, sorry, all the roads are brick. All the walls are brick. The only thing that isn't brick is the interior floors, which are wood. Although I do have stone floors out here to like differentiate when I wanted a different kind of floor. Because I've had to buy that in for the most part. I've not got much stone, so I've had to buy in a load of it. Let's get some stoves. So I'm thinking one... I'm going to put in 3 stoves, actually. Put in 3 stoves with a gap there. Oh, okay, so I've got to have the gap one end or the other. I can't have the gap at both. So instead I'll have that there and then like that, so I can have a door here. So stick wooden door on there. Wooden door there. That didn't place. Wooden door there. And then I can have some fermenting as well. Because this is the way down into my food storage. But I'm going to need a separate food storage for the fermenting, which is best placed directly under the kitchen because then it stays warmer. Because this area down here, I want to keep as quiet, as cold as possible, so that's 3.1. Yet weirdly, this massive area is colder at 1.5. Because like larger areas underground stay colder, and tighter areas stay warmer. So what I should probably do, if I want to keep this, where's my... There it is. If I want to keep this colder, I should just dig it out much more without actually using the space. That would probably be a good idea. I'm doing really well for resources. I've got 3,000 clay, 900 dirt, because I'm using the dirt to fill this in so that I have this this like perfect line with like a lower road. Oh, the idea was that I'd be able to fish off of this, but the fish doesn't spawn as much. Let's see, if I put those 2 to fish, because I noticed that they were fishing from the higher levels. So they might... See, Myrtle's going to fish. Yeah, you can fish in there. That is fantastic. That's something that like a lot of games wouldn't allow you to do. That you can fish from a higher level. It makes sense. Why would you not be able to? So that's really cool. I've been pretty on top of food for most of the time because I've got this amazing sort of underground storage area, which keeps things fresh for a very long time. It's not quite freezing. It's very, very difficult to achieve freezing in medieval times. You have to have ice, and ice itself defrosts. So I think it is possible, but it's just very tricky. So instead, I just have a very cold area and try and have more food than I'm ever going to need. That has not quite worked. Evidently, I've begun to run out, and it's probably because I'm overhauling my growing area. I want to expand it considerably, and that required me to get rid of what was there already. Because I tend to have a bit of a methodical building style in games like this in Rimworld. I'd rather not destroy and rebuild. It's easier in Rimworld because it is basically just a wall and a floor. But in this you can have multiple levels, you have the roof, and I don't know how much resource stuff is regained when you deconstruct. I know in Rimworld it's like 50% or determined by the construction level or whatever, but I haven't seen any indication in this. Brewing and fermenting stations. So this 2x2 and a brewing is 3x2. So I can fit the brewing here as well. Yeah, alright. I'll have 2 brewing stations? I don't know. I don't know actually what the brewing station's for. Brewing ale? Ah, here we are. Fermenting ale, ash, fermenting mead, fermenting beer. Whereas this is fermenting fruit and fermenting mash. So they don't actually have overlap. Interesting. Alright, I will have 2 of those and 2 of those. And it means I don't have a door on this side, but that's okay. No, it's not. Changed my mind. Because I want to have stairs down inside this building. So instead, if I go for this, and then that way I have space for a flight of stairs here. There? Yeah, there. And 2 more doors, like so. And then I will put in a floor, and I'll go with a limestone brick floor to make this place a little bit fancier. Like so. It's a bit of a shame you can't place a floor under a door. It's always this sort of flat brown. And it's the same with ladders as well. You can just about see there's just a flat brown. It actually overwrites anything you attach it to. I think I've got another one over here. No, that's... Everything's snowed under. It's very hard to see. Yeah, I spent ages like mining out the side of this mountain, this side of this cliff as well. How am I doing on fodder? 600. I'm not going to use that for the thatched roof. Instead, I'm going to use wicker because I've got tons of sticks, but I need the hay to feed these guys who are my emergency food supply, but also like wool and milk. And I like to stick on these corners. So it's got this customizable. I can't remember if I showed this off in the first impression. It's got this customizable variation for your buildings. So I've done that for like all of these, and you can. So that's 3 separate things designed so that they have this look on them. And you can't really do that. You can't have it match, for example. Like I can't have this pattern up here, sadly. You can change the style of the roof bit, but you can't change the style of this apart from changing the material. For my library, I have the first 2 library production things. By the way, these seem to be a money spinner, textbooks. You can sell them for like 5 gold each or something, which is incredible considering they are free to make. They just take time. So I'm actually full up on resources, on research resources. So let's just get crossbows and decorative banners. Anything I need more than 20? No. 25 for furniture 3. 30 for research 3. So I'll up this to 30. And then they go down into the bookcases on this floor. So I've got plenty of space, and even with... Because something that's pretty cool is that you have to keep the books. So if you lose the books, I don't know what that means. I think... Because look, allocated... I think you lose the research because the idea is it is your preservation of knowledge, which is a really cool concept. It makes you need a library, which is a good reason to have what would otherwise be a sort of fairly luxury building. Ah, my fermenter, my brewing station is done. So I can make fermenting ale from barley. I can make mead from honey, and I can make beer from barley. Whereas these ones is fruit, so berries into fruit juice, and alcohol ingredients into mash. I don't know what alcohol ingredients are. I suppose I can check, can't I? Ah, literally anything. And vegetable rot. Interesting, you can turn rot into it. But that does explain where my barley's been going. Because let's turn that off. Because I'm still making everything on this, but I turned it off so it doesn't use barley, because barley is a very important thing for feeding these guys. And I wanted to just have loads of it in stock just in case, because barley also barely goes off. It like keeps for bloody ages. Do I have any barley at the moment? I probably don't. Oh, I've got some. Barley. It's very... You can't see how long stuff... Oh, no, you can. So it doesn't decompose and it doesn't rot, even though it's above freezing. Because the temperature slows down the rot. So, like, this pike is rotting in 30 days, even though it's only 2 degrees in there. These rot in a year. Pike rot in 35 days, but the barley never. So, barley is a really good thing to have in massive quantities as emergency supply. There's the roof going up. I will get rid of these wooden buildings. They were obviously the first ones I had. Those two are a little bit close now. I mean, you can build stuff that close. I have here. But the issue with the game is that it's very hard to use anything in this space. So, like, that was the issue I had on that other one where I built the castle and the church. The church was 1 block away from the outer wall because I didn't want it to touch. But it meant that, like, it's impossible to see. Like, if you want to place anything on the wall, you have to raise the wall. But if you raise the wall, you can't see the wall. I've actually gone into the files to adjust how low down you can get angle-wise. Normally, like this, I think 30 degrees is the normal minimum you can get. So, like, that's as low an angle as you could get normally. I've modded it to... Not modded it. You know, I've tweaked the settings in the file so it's, I think, 10. But even so, that's not, like, that low. So that's one of the big issues I have, that it with the way the graphics are done, and also this. I hate this. Turns out this is Coyote time, because in my first impressions I like talked about Coyote time, and it's like, that's hilarious. What is it? It's this. So we thought maybe it was how long the settlers are off the edge before they fall, you know, like Wile E. Coyote, but it's actually the camera. So if I go into camera settings, Coyote time, stick that way up, see, it stays low, and then hops me up. So you can move across a gap without falling, and then it does. I hate this feature. I hate that it falls at all. It's really annoying because if you're trying to, like here, technically the camera is focused around this. I've actually turned that off as well. I'm complaining again. I do really like this game. Do not get me wrong. I complain because I love it. But, like, there's the center of the camera, right there. So that determines how high it is. But if I'm here, how am I supposed to know where the center of the camera is? Even, like, I've turned the reticule off because it was irritating me, but so maybe that answers my question. But, you know, it's just a bit of an obnoxious thing to be there on the screen, so I just turned it off. But it means it's very, very difficult to know what you're going to look at. And it's not so bad on this map where it's flat, but on the canyon map where there were tons of little dips and dives, and my entire base is built around a giant drop. Bloody awkward. But the kitchen is done now. So there's the kitchen building. Turn the roof back off again. And go down to here. So we now have a full kitchen setup. So I can get rid of that. How many people have got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they eat 3 meals a day on average. Or 2 meals a day. Now, I think they eat 2 meals a day, and I like to have 3 days worth of food, so I need 6 times the number of people. So I've got 9 people, I need 6 times that, so I need 54 meals. Packaged meals use clothing fabric, and lavish meals use the same amount of supply, but they also use herbs, which I'm not actually growing, which I should be. That's something I'll do. As I'm not growing herbs, I'll just set it so that I've got 54 packaged meals, which is enough for 3 days worth for everybody, and 17 normal meals, which will go out of date quicker, and set the numbers on these as well. What would be cool is if I could set it so that it only made stuff when I had a certain amount of the resource to make it left. So, like the fermenting mash, I mean, I don't know how they do that, but like the fermenting mash, actually I can turn off barley on both of these. But I don't want it to use barley if I've got, say, less than 20, because unlike carrots, beets, etc., you plant barley as barley. You don't have barley seeds, you just plant barley. So if you run out of barley, you can't get more barley, whereas the other ones, if you have the seeds, you can get more of the other stuff. And as it is winter, I have a brazier in here, burning not wood, because wood is in too short supply, but sticks and coal is fine, and I'll stick that up too high. There we are. First beam going in, because you need to support the ceilings. I've got beams, I like to place them every 3, which is probably not necessary. They probably only need to be every, like, 4 or 5, frankly, but I just like to play it safe. A cold snap. These are very, very common. 1 or 2 a winter, and heat wave is less common, but still, I think I've had 1 heat wave and like 5 or 6 cold snaps in this game. Also, because cold snaps tend to come during winter, like every time, and they're not that extreme. Like a cold snap in Rimworld will drop it down to like -50 or whatever. Cold snap in this, -11 in the middle of the night. Ice making. A wooden box to hold water as it freezes generates ice. I have not tried that before. So what, that just goes outside, presumably? I'll just stick that there and see what happens. How does this work then? Does it just make them? Yeah, just makes them. Okay, so the idea is you have loads of them. They just freeze and produce, what, 1 ice block? Now I put in the floor down here. And normally when you're doing sort of cold rooms and stuff, you don't want a floor because soil maintains heat better than any sort of built surface. But when it's something like this, I do want to... Oh, the cold snap's ended. And it's increased the outside temperature by 3 degrees. When I want a fermenting room, which is what this is, I do actually want it to have some temperature. Oh yeah, I've got to call out, it is amazing how when people travel over snow, it gets rid of the snow. Like, it's such a tiny detail. It's the same way as when they go over dirt, it gets rid of... But look at that. When they go over dirt, it gets rid of the grass. But it sort of refills back in when it's snowing. It's just such a fantastic little touch. There we go. Finally done. So that has taken half a season to build this kitchen and a cellar, which is bloody ages when you think about it. So just to check, alright, there is a little overlap here, which is not good. Yeah, I'm going to have to move my storage that way a bit, because you need ideally 2 layers of dirt between your cold storage and any kind of outside or other room. So having the fermenting here means I need this to be... Oh no, you can actually see that lit up. Interesting. I need that to move over so that this isn't a problem, because I'm going to have this room to a set temperature. Fermenting is like best done between 8 and 14 degrees. And apparently the best way to moderate that is line the walls with torches, because they are sources of heat, and can be individually toggled on and off remotely, thus allowing you to perfectly maintain temperature. So now temperature in here is 9.8 and increasing, so 9.7, 9.5. Alright, that seems to be stabilized here, so I'll need to do something about that in summer when it's hotter, but for winter, that does the job quite nicely. But that is probably enough for this little video. Let me know if you enjoyed this, if you want to see more from Going Medieval. There are lots of other things I could still build in this settlement, so let me know. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you later.